Yes, it's sports update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. The big one will be happening just a minute away from now. We will be having the biggest game of the day at the African Cup of Nations, and we'll be looking at that a little bit and other story on the show. But let's start with this big one: Cameroon, Senegal against Cameroon. These two teams are giants when it comes to African football, when it comes to the continental game on the continent of Africa. Senegal, the defending champion, and 2017 champions, that is the Cameroon, Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. I remember Ghana, Nigeria 2000, what they did to us at the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos, and the final we lost to them on penalties. Victor Ikpeba missing his own spot kick. Definitely that if it is now when we have VAR, we would have been celebrating that trophy. But for Victor Ikpeba, the ball crosses the line, immediately he played it and he has to put his hand on the head. He didn't even wait at all. But we would have, if it was in the nowadays that we have the video assistant referee, then it would have been checked and we know that that ball crosses the line. But the thing is, tonight the Terenga Lions and the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon will be doing battle, and when two lions meet, who suffers it? The grass. And then you know what it is when two lions are fighting. Aliou Cisse of Senegal and Rigobert Song, both of them have dreadlocks. The two dreadlocks coaches will be locking their dreadlocks on the pitch, and we have a handful of players on both sides. Andre Onana, who left Manchester United, didn't play the first game. I think he will be in between the sticks for them tonight. And then we have Sadio Mane, the ageless and the ever-present striker for the Terenga Lions of Senegal. We have Koulibaly. We have a lot of players. We have the likes of Youssouf Salbali, a young player who is 26 years of age. Papa Gueye, a defensive midfielder. We have Nampalys Mendy, a defensive midfielder, and we have Cheikhou Kouyaté, a defender. When you hear Kouyaté, you know he's a very rock solid defender. So a lot will be going on just a few minutes from now, and Abba Michael will be joining me on the show this evening. Abba Michael, welcome to Sports Update, and we are looking at two lions doing battle. The two of them will be roaring. The two coaches have dreadlocks who lock each other in tonight's game.
Yes, I remember watching both good coaches when they were players during the 2002 Nations Cup. Yes, I think both of them played then as a talisman for their teams. It's so funny how time flies. I mean, they were formerly on the pitch and now they are on the sidelines. And they are two legendary players, unforgettable players. I mean, one played with Samuel Eto'o and the other one played with Diouf. So, yes, I remember in hindsight, great encounter that both of them had. But I tell you what, it's lions against the lions. And a lion is always better than another lion. And it looks like the Terenga Lions are looking more surmountable upon the Indomitable Lions. Cameroon has had the type of start you never want to remember by losing in the first game. And of course, Senegal are here with victory on their back. So they are playing with one more momentum. So I'm picking Senegal to take this all.
Okay, you're picking Senegal. Let's quickly look at the head-to-head of these two teams. For Senegal, they've played 6 games so far, and Senegal have won 2 direct matches, and for Cameroon 1, and the other 3 other matches ended on a draw note. And if you look at the last 5 games for both teams, for Senegal, the last 5 games of them has been 4 wins, 1 draw. And for Cameroon, the last 5 games, they have drawn 3 and lost 1, and they've won 1. So if you look at their performances in the last 5 games, and then their number of meetings 6 times between the two of them. Now, going by these statistics, these will be the 7th meeting between both teams. Now, you are tipping Senegal. What makes you think that Senegal tonight will win the 7th meeting between both sides?
Yes, because they are the defending champions. And of course, they already have a victory in the bag, 3-0, showing how prolific they can be in front of goal. Cameroon, on the other hand, 2017 champions, but they've been a shadow of themselves. We have been waiting to see another Samuel Eto'o, which we have not seen. But then, if the Cameroonians know that they are also giants, in African football, then they have to do what they have to do, like performing the way Egypt performed against Ghana, or Ghana against Egypt, ensuring that they don't lose back-to-back games and get exited in the first round. It's a shame if that happens, and the Cameroonians may not want that to happen. So even if Senegal wins, it will be a slim margin, but it's either going to be a slim margin or a score draw, or perhaps a 1-1 draw or a 2-2 draw. But most likely, the Senegalese, they don't look like they are ready to pump the brakes.
Okay, now let's look at their first games in that group. For Senegal, they trashed Gambia. One player, Camara, scoring 2 goals, and Sadio Mane having a hand in one of the goals. If I can't score, I can give an assist. Now, it was against Gambia, 3-0. And for Cameroon, our neighbors, our very close neighbors, they drew their game against Guinea. It was 1-1. And looking at both teams, their first game in Group C. Now for Senegal, 3-0 against Gambia. That, like you mentioned, it shows how prolific they are. Now, Bob, for Cameroon, what do you think is really their challenges? Because in their last 5 games, they've drawn 3, they've lost 1. So, what is really going on for Cameroon? Now, they cannot score goals in their last, even in their last 5 games. I think they scored a total number of 3 goals so far. And you saw the last game against Guinea, it was 1-1. Against that same team, it was a repeat of the result they had in their last 2 meetings. That is between Cameroon and Guinea. So, what is really going on for Cameroon?
Yes, I think they have some internal bickerings, some dressing room challenges, which has to do with Andre Onana forming big boy, claiming that he's a superstar and he's yet to be featured and he wants to be featured. I think that crisis has affected the team in one way or the other, and the absence of Vincent Abubakar, one of their star man in the last couple of games, I think he's also vividly absent. I think those 2 factors may be indirectly affecting the team. But if they can put themselves together, why not? They can have a draw against Senegal.
Okay, for Senegal, they made a very big statement. How far do you think they can go in this Nations Cup? Because this is one of the biggest tests they will face in the group stage.
At least I see them getting to the semi-finals. That's the minimum expectation of this Senegalese team, because I think they've been able to retain a bulk of their winning team against Egypt in the last edition. So I see them going at least. I don't expect them to go out before the semi-finals.
Okay, all right. You are expecting them to go far. We will still come to that just a few minutes away from now. That game will be kicking off between the Terenga Lions and the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Okay, let's quickly look at this story. Let's start. Let's come back home and let's begin with athletics. I know that is one sport, Michael, you also love, and it's a good news for this man who we thought would have taken the world by storm. That was in the last Olympics, but he got injured, and after then, much has not been heard of him. But the good news is that he is starting the 2024 on a very good note. Now, for our own Enoch Adeguke and others, they are set for dynamic outdoor meet that will happen in Lagos. I think it's a cherry news, Michael.
Yes, it's a cherry news. I don't like the fact that it is only when we go abroad that we attend athletics meets, Grand Prix, Diamond Leagues. Why can't we have meets in Africa? Why can't we have meets in Nigeria where we'll see African sprinters gathered so that they can develop even before going out? And we are glad that Enoch Adegoke, the very first man to line up in an Olympic final since Davidson Ezinwa in Atlanta 1996. We are glad that he's back. He's one of the competition athletes that would always give his best. When he's in a competition, you will know he's there because he will always make his mark. And we are glad that Patience Okon-George is there. We are glad that the fastest swimmer, Blessing Ogundiran, is also there to make this wonderful. Even the former athletes, Fasuba, and even Coach Tony Osheku, they are all giving kudos to these games.
Okay, it will be happening in Lagos. What This dynamic mix will be happening in Lagos this year. Now, what does that mean for Nigerian athletes and then the Athletics Federation of the country?
Yes, it's an opportunity to weigh in on the performances of our athletes. We have some of our athletes plying their trade in the US. They are running for the NCAA. But this meet will enable Nigeria to see that apart from depending on the Udodi Umuzurikes, Afolabis, the ones that run in US, we have opportunity to look inwards and fish out the great athletes we have, apart from Itsekiri, the athletes that are fast enough to be on our team. We need to build a formidable team, and that starts by looking inwards, not just to look at America where our stars are shining. We'll get more home-based athletes. That's what this means. And please, Lagos fans, get and fill that arena, fill that complex, so that we can have a mammoth crowd to support our own, not only when they are playing football.
Okay, all right. That is a very good play coming in from you, Mike. I know what athletics means to you, and I know what it is when it is athletics. I didn't do so well when it comes to athletics, but when it comes to football, you can call me there. But it's a good one. I love athletics. That was one sport I would have loved to do, but I don't have that level. I'm not that athletics. I'm not that flexible for it. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's still dwell in Nigeria, but this is concerning schools right now, and then it's a good thing that UNILAG will be hosting the African University Games later on this year. Michael, the good news is I love it. I love it. When you mention UNILAG, they are one of the schools that have sporting facilities in the country. And now for the African Games, it will be going down in UNILAG later on this year. What does it really mean for UNILAG and then our students who want to combine sports and education?
Yes, it's a good thing. It's where you could pick out talents. I mean, for those who remember Olusoji Fasuba, yes, the former fastest man in Nigeria, was the fastest man in Nigeria between 2006 and 2008. How did he emerge? It was from these university games. University games are another opportunity to fish out the next Davidson Ezinwa. I mean, to fish out the next Uchenna Emedolu, the next Deji Aliu. I mean, the fastest guys that have come out of Nigeria, many of them passed through these games. And so African University Games is an opportunity, and we're happy that they are co-hosting. I mean, both UNILAG and LASU, both co-hosting, and Lagos has the facilities. It is good to host the African nation. I think they've scored a political point, or it's a scoring point in being eligible to host a games of this magnitude. So kudos to the VCs.
Okay, kudos to the VC of UNILAG and that of LASU, who will be co-hosting this event. All other African universities will be gathering in Lagos, in UNILAG and LASU for this particular games. All right, let's go away from that story and let's talk about the Super Falcons, the Falconets. They are Super Falconets, we can call them that. Their game against Burundi, the second leg, will be coming up this weekend, precisely. And now for Christopher Danjuma, the coach of the side, Christopher Danjuma, said his victory against Burundi, the first leg in Tanzania, that was last weekend, it ended 1-0 in favor of the Falconets. And after this hurdle, they will probably qualify fully for Colombia 2024, where the other 20 Women's World Cup will be happening later on this year. Michael?
Yes, I mean, we are very happy that Janet was able to bravely embrace the pressure of taking penalties to give Nigeria the lead against Burundi at Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. We are glad that we are back to the MKO Abiola Stadium. I urge fans to please troop in as mammoth crowd to give them the needed support to ensure that we gain this qualification. So our prayers are with the Falconets. We believe that they're on the right track. Even though we missed a couple of chances in the first game, but we are glad that we were able to get the win. That is very key. That's very vital. And so we wish them the best of luck.
All right, you wish them the best of luck. All right, let's go straight to Europe. There were games last night, the big one in the Spanish Copa del Rey. It would have been a back-to-back defeat for the capital, for one team in the capital, but at the end of the day, after extra time, it was 4-2. Okay, let's look at the results of the Spanish Copa del Rey that happened last night for Unionistas. They lost to Barcelona 3-1, and the biggest one of the night was Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid. You know, last week, Real Madrid defeated Atletico in the final, the Super Cup final. They defeated, I beg your pardon, they beat Barcelona to leave the Super Cup final. And also before then, they beat Atletico Madrid in the league. Now, the Spanish Copa del Rey, it was 4-2 against Real Madrid after extra time. Okay, Michael.
Yes, I didn't get that clearly.
I said Real Madrid, after they defeated Atletico in the league, but they are meeting for the second time the following week. That is now in the Spanish Copa del Rey. They lost 4-2 against Atletico.
Yes, I mean, it's very, very uncanny to see Atletico defeating Real. If you go back down memory lane, you would see several encounters of near misses. The Atletico would almost defeat Real Madrid, and then before you know it, especially in the days of Cristiano, I think the 2014 and the 2016 Champions League, it gives me back a reflection of how Real Madrid had a comeback to be able to defeat Atletico Madrid. But this time around, I think the tide has turned. This is one of the reasons why the coach has been there for so many years, because he comes up with magic time to time when it is needed. And I think it's a big kudos for Atletico Madrid. After all, they have a talisman, Griezmann. I mean, the team is really doing well. The team is back. But then, in the Real Madrid, they are still, as far as the league is concerned, they are still the team to beat, even though Girona is holding them by the jugular. But these things happen once in a while. Real Madrid should just take it as a pat in the back and go back to their drawing board and prepare for La Liga, where they have hopes of getting the win.
Okay, where they have hopes of getting the win. All right, let's move away from the Spanish Copa del Rey. Let's go straight to France. It's a cup game in France, and one game will be played tonight. Before then, one game. Before then, let's look at one fixture also in La Liga. Alaves will take on Cadiz. That is in the La Liga, one fixture in Spain. And then also in France, we have one fixture, but it's a cup game. Begraca Perigord against Lyon. That name sounds as if it's a Nigerian name. Perigord, like those from the riverine area, that is Baeza, Prier, as they are called. Also, tonight, Cadiz will play in Spanish La Liga, and Perigord against Lyon in the French Cup. All right, let's leave that story and quickly look at this transfer story before we now just go back to the Nations Cup, Senegal, Cameroon. Now, let's take this transfer story where Manchester City, they have their eyes set on every good player. Now, they are so serious about these two players right now. Manchester City keen on Tottenham, Pedro Porro, and Aston Villa, Douglas Luiz. I think these two players, if they can get them to their side, Manchester City, already they are a team to beat, but we know how they are being shaky this season. But so far, if they get these two players, I think the team will be more formidable. Michael, I don't know what's your own take on these two players that Manchester City are actually looking for.
Yes, Manchester City are like Oliver Twist. They will always ask for more. And when Nigerians say who no like better team, Manchester City is that team that they like better team. I mean, they want every good team. Pedro Porro has scored 1 goal and then 6 assists as a fullback for Tottenham. He's been instrumental in their comeback when we saw them almost capitulating. Douglas Luiz, I think Man City went for him in 2019, but somehow he had to go on loan to Girona and then back to Aston Villa, where he is doing wonders. I think 5 goals, 4 assists, and they still want him again. They should allow other teams to also breathe. And the Man City should let the poor breathe, because right now it seems like they want to get everything for themselves. They are so hungry and they have a big appetite.
They have a very big appetite for Manchester City. They are looking for Porro and Douglas Luiz. These guys are fantastic, good players, and if they can get them on their books, it's going to be a good one. Okay, Michael, quickly, let's go back to the game between Cameroon and Senegal before we go away on the show, and probably allow viewers to go and enjoy that game. Just a few minutes away from now, that game will be kicking off. Now, straight up, for Sadio Mane, how influential do you think he has been for the Terenga Lions?
Yes, of course. He has provided the leadership that is needed. Every good team needs a leader. Every good team needs a talisman. Every good team needs a voice and a command and a presence of a good direction. And I think outside the coach, Mane has done just that for this team. Despite the fact that he had a crisis from Liverpool and when he moved to join Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's back to his team where they won it all last time, and he's giving them that needed leadership again to see if they can go back to back. I think Mane is really key and instrumental, and then he's allowing other players express themselves. I think that's what I love the most about Mane, not wanting to take it all by himself, saying, I'm the best.
Okay, now I'm going to take you on this so that our viewers can hear you from you. Predict the scoreline of this game.
Well, the scoreline may be 2-2 draw. I'm looking at a 2-2 draw because both teams may go for each other's jugular.
Okay, you are looking at a 2-2 draw, but me, I don't have a prediction. Let the best team win tonight. All right, Michael, that is where we leave it on Sports Update. Thanks for joining me on the show. It's been wonderful having you on Sports Update.
Yes, my television is on. It's evening already. I can't wait to watch that sumptuous meal or sumptuous delight.
All right, that is it on the program Sports Update. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. Say thanks for watching.